What's up, guys? How are y'all doing today?
Today we are going to be talking about our top tips for visiting not only Harry Potter World, but Universal Orlando as a whole.
Hey guys, my name's James.
And I'm Ashley.
We sold our house and we are traveling across the country with our kids.
My name's Goose, and this is Maverick. Come join us.
Okay guys, number one, probably most important is how long do you need to see the park as a whole? You might not know, but Universal Orlando is actually a lot like Disneyland in California in that there are two separate parks. So if you want to see it all, you have to do, in my opinion, at least 2 or 3 days. Spend a full day at each park. And the benefit of this is, if you buy the 2-day Hopper Pass, you get to ride the Hogwarts Express train. And this is the only way you can ride that train, is if you have a Hopper Pass to go between the two parks.
It's so worth it.
Yeah, definitely. If you're going to do the park, I would say a minimum of 2 days with the Hopper Pass so you can ride the Hogwarts train. And a little tip, I'm not sure if they're still doing this, but when we went, they had a special deal going on for the 5-day pass, which seems like a lot of days, but it was the exact same price as the 3-day pass. So we just went ahead and splurged and got the 5-day pass because we figured if we only go 3 days, it doesn't really matter. It's the same price as the 5-day pass. So check online to see what kind of deals they got going on. But I would say if you're gonna get the 3-day pass and it's the same price for the 5, why not do it?
I think everybody knows that in Universal there are little magic areas where you can practice your wand magic. What we didn't know and finally figured out is that on the ground there are instructions on how to use your wand to make the magic happen.
Because every one of the little areas is different. So just because you got it in one area by doing the swish and flick doesn't mean that'll work in the other area. And me and Goose kind of felt like idiots because we were sitting there like, why can't we get this stinking umbrella to go when everybody else in front of us did? And it wasn't until later that we figured that out.
It's on the ground. It's just this little plaque on the ground, and if you follow what it says, magic.
And if you don't have a wand, you probably know Ollivander's is the place to get wands, where there's this whole experience where you can have the wand choose you. You might not be picked to do that, but it's a pretty cool experience to see nonetheless. But the Ollivander store itself can be so busy. And if you didn't know, on the opposite side of the Ollivander building, there's actually a dark wand shop. I don't remember what it's called, but they have all the same wands. And it's usually wide open. Like I walked by it multiple times, and the worker lady was just standing there being bored because it was wide open. So if you want to get a wand and be able to look at them all and talk to someone about it, go across from Ollivander's to get it because there will be no lines. But if you want the experience, you got to wait in line for the Ollivander wand choosing.
The next step is going to be going into one of these discounted gift shops. You can get a t-shirt to wear into the park for you or the kids, and then you can spend your money elsewhere while you're actually in the park. Let's go look. Okay, so a great example would be in here, you can find these shirts, the Trouble shirts. You can also find them in Universal. They're not exactly the same, but they're fairly close. This is gonna be $9.99, and in the park it can go anywhere from $20, $25 and up. Okay, another great example, if you're gonna do Harry Potter, it's gonna run you $25 and up. Here, you're gonna pay $16.99.
If you end up getting something inside of the park, because let's be honest, it's kind of fun to find a little something.
It's probably going to happen.
Yeah. They do actually have a, what do you call it?
It's like a package pickup at the front of each of the parks.
Yeah.
I did not know about that. So cool. I don't know why I didn't know about this earlier, but how frustrating is it to buy a sweatshirt or whatever, and then you have to shove it in your backpack or in your stroller? But with this, you don't have to. You literally say, hey, can you put it at the front, the package pickup? I'll pick it up at the end of the day. And then no worries. You don't have to worry about getting wet on the water rides.
Or losing it or anything like that.
Or breaking a mug.
Ooh. But what's even cooler is that if you are actually staying in a Universal hotel, they will send it to the hotel.
Okay, next tip. When is the best time to go? So not only time of day, but time of year. You don't want to go in the middle of the summer on a weekend. That is the worst time ever to go because not only is no one working, but all the kids are out of school.
And it's hot.
And it's miserable. It's Florida. So if you can, go during the winter. during the middle of the week, because not only are kids in school, but all people are working. So like Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays are the best. But on top of that, if you can get there right when the park opens, the first hour of the day, you can probably get on 3 of the big rides that would take you 3 or 4 hours to do in the middle of the day, because the lines are so much shorter right at the beginning of the day. But if you're like us and you kind of sleep in and maybe you don't get there right at the beginning, another tip is if you stay until the end of the day, the last hour of the park is also way emptier than the middle of the day, because all the kids that are young need to go home and nap or whatever. There's just way less people at the park. So the first hour of the day and the last hour of the day are when you're going to be able to hop on those big rides like Hulk or the Escape from Gringotts or the any of the other big rides. You know what I'm talking about. The Harry Potter rides, all that kind of stuff. That's when you're going to want to do it. And in addition, if you want to get an extra top tip, if you're there at the end of the day, the Hogwarts Castle has a really cool light show on it, which is fun to watch. But if you don't want to watch it, literally everybody that is in that area in Hogsmeade will be staring up and looking at the castle and not being in line. So I think me and Goose went on the Hippogriff ride like 4 times during that show. So if you don't mind missing the light show, you'll probably be able to bust out the Hippogriff ride, the Harry Potter Forbidden Journey, which is the one inside of the castle. Super cool ride. And anything else you want to do in Harry Potter World during that time, because everybody will be focused on the light show.
One of the things that we absolutely loved about Universal is their parent swap.
Better than Disney.
Oh.
Which is saying a lot, because we are Disney peeps.
We are Disney geeks. And I loved Universal's parent swap. Here's the skinny on the swap. You get to take the entire family. So instead of having your family member wait behind with one of your kids, and then you take another kid or you go by yourself, the whole family gets to go. And then at the very front of the line is this little room that they will usher you into. As you wait for your party to go on the ride, you just wait with your child or whoever
like in the Harry Potter one, they had a TV there playing the movies, and then in the Fast and the Furious one, they had little games they could play.
I loved it.
Definitely, but I mean, there are perks to the Disney one in that, like, at Disney, you can go do something else while the one person's in line, but I really liked at Universal how we could all wait in line together. We could play games like the Heads Up game and just kind of be together and then do the switch right at the end. So
yeah, it's because it kind of feels like whenever we're at Disneyland, we're like, oh, we'll take, Maverick on this ride while you guys go on that ride. But then it's like, oh, wait, that one's all the way over there. What ride can I take
And we're just not
on?
like at the park together.
Yeah, and it's like, it's just not worth it. And you end up just sitting there waiting for them to finish, which could take 45 minutes. Yeah. And you just are like, oh, well.
And I usually end up waiting in line by myself. So it's really cool to have this where we can all wait together as a family and then just switch right at the front.
Yeah.
So if you're not like us and you don't have an RV to stay in one of the RV parks, one of the cool things you can do is stay in one of the official Orlando Studios hotels. And they have so many perks for staying there. One, there is literally a boat ferry that takes you from the hotel to the front gates of the park. Super cool. I was jealous of the people just going on the boat. I wanted to ride that.
Right?
Plus, like Ashley said, they will ship the packages you buy in the parks to your hotel, and you don't have to pay $20 for parking, because that's what hit us every day. Is we went the 4 or 5 days and we had to pay $20 every day. That's a big hit. But a tip for that is, if you're not staying in the hotel and you have to pay for parking, and one of the days you want to just do a little half day, if you go after 6 o'clock, parking is free. So from like 6 to 10, you can go there for 4 hours, bust out a bunch of rides at night, and not have to pay for parking. So we actually did that the last day we were there, and I think it was great because we had dinner, we went on some of the rides, we took advantage of the empty park.
Perfect.
It worked out well.
Next tip, be willing to eat lunch either early or late, and bring snacks, because the lunch line, everybody wants to eat lunch at the same time, and so the line gets really, really, really long.
I would say, like, from 11 to 1, don't try and eat, especially at the big restaurants, like the Three Broomsticks.
Yeah, just wait it out. I promise you, if you wait it out, it will be worth it, especially because the lines start to kind of shrink a smidge during that lunchtime.
Yeah, because everybody's in line for food.
Because everybody's in line for food. Everybody's hungry, but if you have snacks, you can wait.
Yeah, so eat the snacks in line, go on a ride, then go get lunch.
Then go get lunch. And do not forget to enjoy a butterbeer.
Frozen butterbeer is my preference.
He likes frozen. I'm a little more partial to the unfrozen.
Really?
However, get a butterbeer. They are delicious.
Or get one frozen, one not, and switch like we did.
And that's exactly what we did. It is worth it. It is delicious, and you will love yourself for it.
One of the things you need to do before you get to the park, even the day or two before, is download the Universal app, because not only does it show you wait times, give you ride descriptions, height requirements for your kids so you know whether or not to even approach the Hulk ride, because when your child sees it, they're going to be so upset that they can't ride on it. So many cool things. You can set alarms on there, so if a wait time gets below a certain thing, it beeps and it tells you, hey, the Hulk ride's down to a half an hour. So cool. That will also let you know day of if the Express Pass is worth buying, which kind of ties into my next tip. If you're going to buy the Express Pass, don't buy it ahead of time, because you might show up at the park that day and the ride times are only like 15-20 minutes and it's not worth that extra $99 or whatever it is. We didn't buy the Express Pass because we're cheap, and we just took advantage of the other things like the family swap and the single riders and that kind of thing. Speaking of which, single riders is another way to kind of hack the lines if you're willing to split it up, or in my case, I wanted to go on the Hulk ride real quick. Neither of them could or wanted to, so I jumped on the single rider and it made the ride time or the wait time half as long. So there are a bunch of ways to try and shorten your wait times, because nothing's worse than sitting in a hot, miserable hour-and-a-half long wait for a 30-second ride. So download the app, familiarize yourself with it, and definitely don't buy the Express Pass ahead of time.
Kind of have a game plan. Like, know your strategy before you get to the park.
Tying into what we said earlier about getting to the park early, know your top 3 rides you want to hit. So if you want to do Hulk and then Escape from Gringotts and the Harry Potter journey, do those right at the beginning of the day, because if you wait till midday, you're going to be waiting an hour and a half.
And just know where the rides are, because there is nothing worse than being like, oh, I want to ride this ride. Oh, but it's in the other park.
Yeah.
And I have to get there.
And it takes 45 minutes to get from one park to the other. And
I might not get there, and then the line's actually 30 minutes now. So just kind of know what ride you want to go on, where it's at, and strategize from there. It's not like we were sitting there mapping things out. We're not that intense.
But the more plans you have, the more organized you are, the better your day is going to be.
Yes.
Alright guys, final tip. Don't be afraid to come to Universal Harry Potter World while it's raining, because this is what the 2-hour Harry Potter wait line looks like when you have rain outside. It's amazing. Thank you for watching. I know this was a little bit different than normal, but hopefully you enjoyed it, or at least found it helpful.
Entertaining?
But until next time, guys, remember, stay positive, get out there. Life is an adventure, so make some memories.